Andy, 14 years in Major League Soccer. That's a long time. Looking back, coming out of University of Rhode Island, at the bubble in Foxborough, knocking the ball around way back in the day. Did you ever think that you would have a career that kind of spanned this amount of time?
When you're starting your career, you surely hope so. You kind of map out hopefully you can last till 35, some of the greats. Surely was striving for that. I'm just blessed that it lasted this long.
1998, you represent Jamaica at the World Cup. Afterwards, you come to Major League Soccer playing for the Columbus Crew. Talk a little bit about the Caribbean connection you guys had in Columbus.
Funny story about that was I think DC United put in the discovery option thing player on me, and I think Columbus called the league office and complained about it. Something like that I heard from my agent, and he said that they kind of changed it and sent me to Columbus instead of DC United. So that's how my career started. Went there. Jeff came into the league. Cunningham came into the league that year too. So he started the year. I don't think he was playing that much at the time. Stern was there. Brian McBride. If you look at those two forwards, they're probably top 5 forwards in the league history, or 3 with Jeff too. So I was fortunate to have those guys in front of me, and made my job easy the first couple of years.
Always difficult for creative playmakers in Major League Soccer, especially if you're not one of those big name players or making a lot of money. Just talk about a little bit about the early years of MLS and kind of the difficulties you had personally as a young player in this league.
Well, for me, at the beginning part of MLS, if you look back at other teams that didn't make the playoffs or didn't do well, they'll clean house, and that required bringing a new coach who had a different philosophy from the original coach that was there. So you clean house, bring in 10 new guys again, and start all over again. And unfortunately, I've been on the end of that clean house for my first 4 or 5 years. Columbus was, at that time, that's when we played DC United, best team in the league, and nobody could beat them. They won back to back to back, and so the front office kind of went a different way with Coach Fitzgerald, and then same thing with Miami, and it just went on and on and on, and it's kind of changed now. That's what happened when Jason came here. He got a group of players, and he stuck with them through his first year. He didn't brought in a bunch of guys, and then that's it. Just made tweaks after that. And I think that's how in this league, that's how you have to be successful. If you follow Houston and all the teams, even LA now. When Bruce took over, they were probably the worst team in the league, and minor adjustments and having the same core group of guys, it will work.
You played for teams like Columbus, Miami, New England, New York, Chicago. How were you able to kind of compartmentalize those early days, knowing that it didn't really matter how well you played on the field, there was always an opportunity for you to kind of bounce around the league?
Well, for me, back then, I kind of took things, I was immature. I was young, coaches would bring me in to run the offense, and you can only, if the offense is doing well, you're getting scored on or losing games. Your stats are good, but the team isn't doing great. And like I said, I was after a couple of years, changes are made, and then I had to move on. But it was difficult, family-wise, and then getting the stigma for the most traded player in MLS history at one point. It was difficult, but I knew I was good, decent. Just for me to find that coach that had faith in me, and I got here, and Coach Ellinger brought me here, and it didn't work out for him, and then Jason took over, and kind of had that faith in me, and I've been lucky to be here for the last 6, 7 years.